So our topic for this week is about normal probability distribution. So sa last chapter natin on our previous discussion, we tackled about discrete random variable. As we enter the normal probability distribution, we will now be focusing on the continuous random variable. So a normal probability distribution is a probability distribution of continuous random variables. So ito na yon. Ito yung it shows graphical representations of random variables obtained through measurement like the weights of the students, the percentile rank of the A&E or yung accreditation and equivalency test result of the ALS or any data within infinite values. Yan. It is also used to describe the characteristics of populations and help us visualize the inferences we make about the population. It also used to determine the probabilities and percentile of the continuous random variables in the distribution. Kung natatandaan ninyo, yung topic natin sa discrete, ang ginagawa natin ay laging magbilang. Yun yung mga discrete random variable eh. Yung sinasabi natin, mga data na binibilang. But when we say continuous, these are data that are being measured. For example, your grades in mathematics is one of the scores in the distribution. You can predict the location of that score in the distribution and interpret it with regards to the mean and standard deviation. So we have also the properties of the normal distribution or commonly known as normal curve. The normal curve. Why is it called normal curve? Based on the illustration, one of its property is that a normal curve is bell-shaped. So kung nakikita nyo dyan sa illustration ko, one of its property is that it is a bell shape. If you are using an Android phone, i-landscape nyo para malaki yung presentation. Yan. Yun yung unang property. When we say normal curve, ang hitsura niyan, bell shape. Second, the curve is symmetrical about its center. Ano ibig sabihin ng symmetrical? So yan. Kung titingnan nyo mula sa center na to, when we say symmetrical, yung measurement niya sa nasa right is the same as its measure nasa left. Tapos, kapag katinupi natin tong presentation natin na to, magko-coincide o mag-o-overlap mismo na eksaktong-eksakto. It will coincide to each other. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng symmetric. The mean, median, and mode coincide at the center. So itong tatlong to, nandito sila lahat sa gitna. Yan ang ibig sabihin. And that's one of the property of the normal curve. Fourth one, the width of the curve is determined by the standard deviation of the distribution. So yung agwat nito, mula dito, yung width niya, mula dito sa mean, papunta dito sa right, and mula sa mean, papunta sa left, it is determined by the standard deviation, whatever the value. Tapos, ang standard deviation, constant yan. Kung ano yung measurement mula dito sa gitna, papunta dito, parehas yan sa sukat niya, papunta dito. So, pare-parehas. The tails of the curve are plotted in both directions and flattened out indefinitely along the horizontal axis. The tails are thus asymptotic to the baseline. When we say asymptotic, itong tail niya, itong pinaka-tail niya. Ito. Nakikita niyo ba yung ginuguhit ko? Can you see what am I
Opo,
writing
ma'am.
on the screen?
Opo.
Yeah. Itong tail ng normal curve. Itong tail na to, when we say it is asymptotic, it will just flatten out to the horizontal axis, but it will never touch to this axis. Kaya asymptotic lang siya. Magpa-flat lang yan dyan, pero never silang mag-meet. That is meant by asymptotic. So, ito yung tail niya. Itong mga tail. The total area under a normal curve is 1. Itong buong bulong yan, kung may 50% sa kabila, 50% sa kabila, in short, that is 100%. Ang percentage niya ay 100%. Ang probability niya ay 1. So, if this is 50%, converting to decimal, that is 0.50. Sa kabila, probability niya 0.50 din. So that when we add 0.50 plus 0.50, ang probability ng buong normal curve ay 1. So let's move on. To visualize and understand the properties or characteristics of a normal curve, let us refer to the figure number 2. So ito yon. So, itong gitna, wherein the mean, median, and mode are at the center. So, ito unimodal. Ito yung symmetric. Symmetric meaning whatever the measure of this segment is the same as the measure of this side. Asymptotic, the tail will just be flattened at the horizontal axis but never meet the horizontal axis. Yan yung mga properties ng. And of course, the first property of the normal curve is it is a bell shape. Tatandaan niyo yan. So, kapag sinabi sa inyo, will you draw a normal curve? Siyempre, ang i-drawing mo ay isang bell shape. A normally distributed random variable with a mu equal to 0 and standard deviation equals 1 is called a standard normal variable. It is presented using standard normal distribution where the center of the curve is 0, which is mean, and added 1 unit from the center to the right and subtract 1 unit from the center to the left. So, ito yung ibig sabihin niya. Yan. Normal distributed random variable. So, sa isang normal curve, it is usually, the mean is always the middle, of course. And the mean is always represented with the mu equals to 0. And then, the standard deviation is equals to 1. So, if it is going to the right, of course, we will just have 1 unit to the right, another 1 unit, so it will be 2, another 1 unit, it will be 3. Pag papunta sa left, syempre, we know that in a number line, all values at the left with 0 are all negative. So, we will subtract negative 1. Subtract 1, it is negative 1. And then, another negative 1, it will be negative 2. And then, another negative 1 is negative 3. So, kaya meron tayong 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 1, 2, 3. And this is the normal curve or standard. Ito palagi ang unit niya. 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Or yung mean ay palaging nasa gitna. Tapos, ang distances ng 0 or ng mean mula sa sunod na unit ay base sa value ni standard deviation. The shape of a normal curve is based on the two given parameters. So, yung shape daw ng normal curve, depende yan sa two given parameters. These are the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution. When comparing two distributions, each distribution by the normal curve, the following are the three situations based on the said parameters. Unang condition. When the means are not equal, but the standard deviations are equal. Take note that the mean, so ito, may dalawa tayong distribution. The mean are not equal, but the standard deviations are not equal. So if the mean are not equal, usually ang mean natin ay nasa 0, like this one. Tapos yung isa ay, ang mean ay 1, pero ang standard deviation nila ay parehas lang. So ibig sabihin, parehas sila ng shape, pero magkaiba sila ng distance. Yung isa, dahil 1 ang kanyang mean, nasa right side siya. Yung isang 0, ang mean ay nasa left side siya. So, ang magiging hitsura mo when you compare two normal curve having means that are not equal, magkakaroon sila ng differences kung nasaan yung normal curve mo. It's either nasa left or nasa right. Nasa right siya kung positive ang mean niya, nasa left siya kung negative ang kanyang mean. But their size are the same since they have the same standard deviation. Second condition is that when the means are equal, this time equal naman ang mean, and the standard deviations are not equal. Wait lang, dapat dito meron are not equal. The means are equal but the standard deviations are not equal. So itong form na to. The curves are centered at the same point but they have different height and spreads as shown in figure 5. Ayun. So yun nga. Yung width kasi ng normal curve ay base sa value na standard deviation. They are in the same way, they have the same mean. So that's why they are both at the center. But then, dahil magkaiba ang kanilang standard deviation, magkaiba ang kanilang shape. That's the condition number 2. Condition number 3, this time, the means are different and the standard deviations are also different. The curves are centered at different points and vary in shapes as shown in figure 6. Siyempre, magkaiba sila ng mean. So, hindi sila parehas nasa center. Since magkaiba din sila ng standard deviation, magkaiba din sila ng shape. Yun ang difference naman nila. So, take note that the value of the mean varies at kung ano ang mean niya, yun ang ilalagay mo sa pinaka-center ng kanyang normal curve. Ito, ang kanyang center ay probably nasa 0.5. Hindi lang akma ang drawing or ano. Basta ang mean niya ay nandyan sa gitnang yan. Magkaiba sila ng mean. Magkaiba sila ng standard deviation. Kaya kung napapansin nyo, magkaiba sila ng shape. Magkaiba sila ng center. So those are the 3 conditions of a normal curve. We also have the empirical rule. The empirical rule is better known as 68%, 95%, and 99.70% rule. Itong mga value nito, makikita dun sa pinapa-print o pinapa-download ko sa. This rule states that the data in distribution lies, number 1, within 1 standard deviation from the mean. So, yung normal curve natin kanina, kung natatandaan, ang normal curve natin, ang mean ay 0. Ang mean ay 0. And then, yung agwat niya ay 1 unit from the mean. So, 1, 2, 3. So, ang standard deviation niya ay 1. Ang kanyang mu or mean is equal to 0. Yan ang normal curve. So, sa empirical rule na to, ang 68% is 1 standard deviation from the mean. Left and right. So, ito yung 68%. 68%. Mula sa negative 1 hanggang 1. So that is the 68%. Kaya ang formulang gagamitin kung hahanapin natin yung score, z-score, ay mu minus standard deviation. X is between mu minus standard deviation and mu plus standard deviation. So ito yun. Ito yun. Kaya meron tayong 0 plus 1 ay nasa 1, 0 minus 1 ay nasa negative 1. So itong portion na to ay 68%. So dahil nasa gitna ang ating mean, ibig sabihin, mula dito sa mean hanggang sa positive 1 ay 34%. Mula sa mean hanggang negative 1 ay 34%. Kaya ang total niyan ay 68%. Kaya ayun, nasa taas. Yung 95% rule naman is a 2 standard deviation from the mean. 2. 2 naman. So 2 distances from the mean. So we have to find the z-score. X is between mu minus 2 times standard deviation and mu plus 2 times standard deviation. So, ito siya. Mula sa negative 2 hanggang sa positive 2. And that is 95%. Kung 95% yan, meaning to say, mula dito sa mean, papunta dito sa 2 is 95 divided by 2. Ilan yun? Dito. Kung 95% tong buong to, itong kalahating to, ay 47.5. Kaya, minus mo yung 34% na to, kaya ang natitira na to ay 13.5%. Kapag inad natin yung 13.5 plus 34% ay 47.5. Kaya ang total niyan ay 95%. Sa 97.70% rule, we have 3 unit of the standard deviation from the mean. So, mula sa mean ay 3 units. So, 1, 2, 3. Ito yan. Mean hanggang 3, tsaka mean hanggang negative 3. That is a total of 99.7%. Naka-percentage sila, guys. Pwede natin silang i-convert sa probability. Since alam natin na ang isang normal curve, ang area niyan ay 1. So, ang 68% sa probability ay 0.68. Diba? Approximately 0.68. Ang 95% ay 0.95. Ang 99.7% ay 0.997. So, yan. So, these are the 3 empirical rules. So, ito yung formula ng 3 standard deviation from the mean. So, yan. Since the area of a normal curve is equal to 1 or 100% as stated on its characteristics, there are only few data which is 0.30% falls outside the 3 standard deviation from the mean. Nasaan yun? Ito yung portion na yun. Yan yun. Yan yung 0.30%. Kasi yung 68, 95, at saka 99.7%, yun yung nasa loob ng 1, 2, at saka 3 units from the mean. So, yung 0.30%, ito yung nasa labas ng 3, both sides. The distribution of the grades of the senior high school student in statistics and probability for the third quarter is shown below in figure 7. So, this is the figure 7. As you can see in this figure, the mean is 87. And, ayun, 68% of data, tubig, 68% of data lies within 1 standard deviation from the mean. and have a grade of 83 to 91. So, ito yon. So, ang mean natin ay 87. Ang next unit niya ay 91. Ang next unit niya is 95 and then 99. Kung papansinin nyo, kung kukunin natin ang difference ng 87 hanggang 91 ay 4. Diba? Kung kukunin din natin ang difference ng 91 hanggang 95, ang difference niya din ay 4 at dito ay 4 din. Sa kabila, 87 minus 83, 4 din yan. So lahat sila, ang differences ng bawat agwat ay 4. So the standard deviation is equal to 4. The mean is equal to 87. So, ano ang score? Ano ang score ng nasa 68%? So, ito yun. Ang 68% ay mula negative 1 hanggang 1 at ito ay 83 at 291. 95% of data lies within 2 standard deviation from the mean and have a grade of 79 to 95. So let's verify. Negative 2 to positive 2. So yun. This is the 95% from 79 up to 95. Ito yung 95%. Ayan siya, oh. Nakalagay, 95%. And lastly, is the 99.7% of data lies within 3 standard deviation from the mean and have a grade of 75 to 99. Ito yung 3. Negative 3 hanggang 99. So from there, it is the 99.7%. So the scores are from 79 to 99. Ganyan kumuha ng raw scores using the empirical rule. Example number 2. The scores of the senior high school students in their statistics and probability quarterly examinations are normally distributed with a mean of 35 and a standard deviation of 5. Letter A question. What percent of the scores are between 30 to 40? So, ayan. Based on the illustration, ang mean natin ay 35. So, itong 35, expect nyo na dapat makita nyo to sa middle ng normal curve. Tapos, yung standard deviation, kung hindi kayo bibigyan ng table na ganito, kayo mismo ang magdodraw. So, pagpasensyahan nyo na ang pagdodrawing ni ma'am. So, pag nagdraw kayo, yan ang bell shape. Pag hindi kayo binigyan ng ganyang table, kayong gagawa ng sarili nyong table, since the mean is 35, dapat ang 35 mo nandiyan sa gitnang-gitna. And then, the standard deviation is 5. So, it is expected that the next unit from 35 is 40. Yan, ganyan. Then, 40, 45. So, yan yung mga nandiyan sa table. Next ay positive 30, should say. And then, 25. And then, 20. Hanggat maaari, 3 units palagi ang ibigay mo kasi ang normal curve ay laging 3 units mula sa mean. So, this is 50. Ayan. So, ito na yun. What percent of the scores are between 30 to 40? So, ito yun. 30 to 40. Kung papansinin, 35 is the mean and 30 is 1 unit from the mean. And 40 is also 1 unit from the mean. So in short, it falls under the 68% empirical rule. So yan. Pag percent ang hinihingi guys, syempre ang sagot mo dapat ay percentage. Letter B. What score fall between 95% of the distribution? So ito na. 95% naman ang hinihingi. Pag 95%, this is 2 units from the mean. So, 2 units. So, nasa positive 2 at saka negative 2 siya. Based on the illustration, it is from 25 to 45. So, yan magiging sagot mo. 25 to 45. Since the question is what score? Yan. Then the score corresponding to this area of the distributions are scores from 25 up to 45. Example 3. The district nurse of Candelaria East needs to measure the BMI or the body mass index of the alternative learning system students. She found out that the heights of male students are normally distributed with a mean of 160 cm and a standard deviation of 7 cm. Take note of the given. The given mean is 160 cm. And the given standard deviation is 7 cm. The question is, find the percentage of male students whose height is 153 centimeter to 174 centimeter. So, yan. Okay, so magdodraw ka ulit ng normal curve. Ang mean ay 160, so yun ang ina-expect na nandyan sa gitna. The standard deviation is 7, so ang sunod dapat ng 160 ay 160 plus 7, so 167. 160 plus 7, 174. 174 plus 7, 181. Papunta sa left, 160 minus 7 is 153. 153 minus 7 is 146. And 146 minus 7 is 139. What I'm trying to imply here is that the standard deviation is the width of this normal curve, such as the units in between of the given scores are the same. Kaya pinapaintindi ko sa inyo na kung 7 ang standard deviation, ang agwat ng mga numbers na to ay dapat 7. So the question, find the percentage from 153 to 174. Okay, analyze natin. 153 hanggang 167 ay 68%. Ang hinihingi mula 153 hanggang 174. So, paano nakuha itong 13.5%? So, kanina, dinivide natin ang 68% mula sa 1 to negative 1 ay 68. So, pag hinati natin, pareha 64. Ang 95 mula negative 2 hanggang positive 2 ay 95. Pag hinati natin yun, ang area nito ay 47.5. Ito mula sa 0 hanggang sa positive 2, 47.5. Alam natin na ang mula sa 0 hanggang 1 ay 34%. So, paano kukunin ang 1 hanggang 2? Ang gagawin, 47.5 minus 34%. Kaya, merong 13.5%. Itong 1 hanggang 2. So, since ang question ay 153 hanggang 174, since alam natin na ito ay 47.5 at ang 0 hanggang negative 1 ay 34. So, ang gagawin mo, 47.5 plus 34. 5. 7 plus 4. 11 carry 1. 5, 6, 7, 8. So, this is, since the question is percentage, so this is 81.5%. Answer is 81.5% of the male students have a height of between 153 centimeter to 174 centimeter. So, let us have this example. Ayan. Gagamitin natin yung concept ng empirical rule. use the empirical rule to complete the following table. Write on the respective column the range or interval of the scores based on the given parameters. So, ito, mean. Yung unang example ay 50, standard deviation ay 3. So, ang 68%, syempre this is, since ang standard deviation niya ay 3, magpa-plus 3 lang siya sa kanan, magma-minus 3 naman siya sa kaliwa. That's why 47 to 53. Pag 95, gagamitin yung formula na ito yung x is between mu plus 2 standard deviation at saka mu minus 2 times standard deviation. Ito, mean is between, score I should say. Score is between mu minus standard plus standard deviation and mu minus standard deviation kasi nasa left. Itong 99.7%, this is, the score is between mu plus 3 times standard deviation and mu minus 3 times standard deviation. So, yan. So, that's why it's 47 to 53. Ito, 2 minus mu. 50 minus 2 times 3. So, 6. Kaya, 44. Ito, 50 plus 2 times 3. So, kaya 56. Ito, 41 dahil 50 minus 3 times 3. 9 yun. 3 times 3, 9. So, 50 minus 9, 41. Ito, 3 times 3, 9. So, 50 plus 9, 59. So, let us do with number 1. Sige nga, number 1 on the chat box. What is the score in 68% if the mean is 135 and the standard deviation is 28? You are free to use the calculator. Mayroon nang may sagot. Si Tayo, Kathleen. Ang first ay 135 minus 28, 107. Check nga natin. 107 at saka ano yung pen ko? 107 to ito, i-add lang natin. 135 plus 28. 163. Tama si Raymar, tama si Kathleen, tama si Shekinah, Roland. Dito tayo sa 95%. 135 minus 2 times 28. Ayun, 79. 79 to, ilan yan? 135 plus 2 times 28. 191. Tama si Kalyaw pala. 191. Next, 99%. 99.7%. Let's check. 135 minus 3 times 28. 51 is correct. Hanggang 135 plus 3 times 28, 200. 135 times 3 times 28. Ay, 135 plus 3 times 28, 219. Okay, maraming tama. Tama si Kathleen. 219. Next, 87 and the standard deviation is 5.5. So 87 minus 5.5 is 81.5 to 87 plus 5.5 is 92.5. Marami nakakasunod. Ganun lang. You just have to follow the formula. Next na tayo. 87 minus 2 times 5.5. 95% na tayo, guys. Is 87 plus 2 times 5.5. Okay, tama si Raymark. 76 to 98. 99.7%. 87 times plus 3 times 5.5. Ang nasa right ay 87 minus 3 times 5.5. What is our answer for 99.7%? Okay, Shekinah is, Kabalhin is correct. Shekinah is correct. And then Raymark. Okay, good. So we have 70.5 to 103.5. Next, 215 is the mean and the standard deviation is 15. 213 minus 15, 198. 213 plus 15, 228. Okay, tama ulit. Tama si Chasley. How about the others? Can you follow the steps? 198 to 228. Naintindihan po ba ang step? 95%. Okay? Tama? Maraming tama. 95%. 213 minus 2 times 15. 183 to 243 is correct. 183 to 243. Check. 99.7%. 213 minus 3 times 15. Sige, wala pang nagbibigay ng sagot. 99.7%. 168 to 258. Check. Shekinah is correct. 168 to 258. Yan. Yun. Kakasunod sila. That's good. How about if the mean is 567 while the standard deviation is 20? So 567 minus 20 is 547. And then, i-add sa kabila, 587. Check. Shekinah is check. Correct. 547 to 587. Yan. Next. 95%. Minus 2 times 20. So, 30 yan. 527 to 607 is correct. And then 99.7% is 567 minus 3 times 20 is 500. 99.7. 507. Mali yung isa. Mali. Asa na tayo? Parang iba na yung mga binibigay sagot. 507 to 567 plus 3 times 20 ay 627. Tama si Reynaldo. Then, last number, the mean is 785. 785. And the standard deviation is 29. 785 minus 29. 756. Okay. Kalyaw. Correct. Vittorio, Kathleen, Erica, Raymar, Shekinah, Chester, Bernadette, Mika. Okay, so ayan, marami pang sumasagot. 756 to 814. While on the 95%, 785 minus 2 times 29 is 729. Oh, okay, mali pala ako ng computation. 785 minus 2 times 29 is 727 to, okay, madami sila, to 847. Tama. 727 to 843. Then last, 99%, 785 minus 3 times 29, 698 to 872 is correct. 698 to 872. Questions so far? Thank you for attending our class for today, and I hope you have learned about the normal distribution and its properties. And let me end this by saying that mathematics may not teach us how to add love or minus hate, but it gives us every reason to hope that every problem has a solution. So just have faith in God and makakaalwa din tayo at matatapos din natin tong pandemic na to. Basta just be strong and always stay safe. Subscribe mo ninyo ang aking YouTube channel para updated kayo sa mga videos na i-upload ko, lalo na yung mga susunod kong lessons sa week na to. Goodbye class and see you next time on our online class.